Any more questions? So I don't know if you want to talk more about my broad characterizations of the clips, but it's just how I've been sort of referring to them for my purposes. So how I implemented these interviews. So we started spring of 2009, and these were voluntary interviews, paid interviews with TAs and LAs. We had about 3 from each group of TAs, LAs from each tutorial course. So about 3 1110 TAs, about 3 1120 TAs, and same for the LAs, and then a few non-tutorial people. And this past fall, in Physics 1120 only, I got the entire slate of TAs and LAs to participate, and this is also the semester that we started videotaping these instructors in the classroom. So that fall semester, we're able to make comparisons between the interviews and these instructors in classroom practice. So how the videos were sort of implemented. First, the instructors is at the beginning of the interview, I give them a little context. I say this is a TA interacting with students at another university. They're using a tutorial. It's not the Washington tutorials, but they see a copy of the tutorial, at least the part that they do in the clip. We have them watch it straight through, and then I've got a prompt I'll show on the next slide for general observations and follow-up prompts on what did the instructor actually do, what did you see going on here. And then we play it through again, and this time the participant is in control of the video. So I say, we'll watch the video again. Now, you can pause the video at any point when you see something that you think is significant and you want to comment on, and say whatever you like. And we play through the video that way. And then at the end, it's usually anything else, and then if not, we'll move on to more interview questions, not related to the video. So this is done once for each video in the spring study. So first they watch the quiet TA using this prompt, then we repeated for the talkative TA, and then we did the interview. I found that that's getting to eat up a lot of the interview time. So for the fall, I split. I had them, for the pre-semester interview, I had them watch the quiet TA using this protocol, and then at the end of the semester, I had them watch the talkative TA using this protocol, and that was the post. Just to give you an idea of the protocol, they were semi-structured in that I had 3 questions that were always asked, and then at my discretion I had follow-up questions if there was something that they said that I wanted to expand upon. But the permanent prompts were, after they finished their first run of the video, I'd just gone through what general observations did you make, and they're allowed to talk through it, what they noticed. After they sort of don't have anything else to say, I prompt them to say, what did you see the TA doing? Just to get an idea. And then it was up to them if they wanted to talk about, I thought this was good, to make value judgments on what they thought was maybe useful and not so useful, what the TA was doing, or how it compared to their experience in the classroom. And I also asked, is there anything that you think you would have done differently in this TA? So giving them another opportunity to perhaps differentiate themselves with the TA, or maybe agree with, if they didn't see anything they would have done differently, then they said that in some instances. And then this is followed up by the free playback. There was no protocol for this, other than at my discretion, follow questions. So let's hear from some instructors. I've got a transcript of what I'm calling TA1. I'll just send this around. And I've got, at the start points in this transcript, I've got audio clips that we can listen to. And what we can listen to it first, I just like to get your all impression of what do you think is significant, anything that's said here, anything that, what you think is interesting, and I sort of point out here that I had a bunch of TAs to choose from. It was tough to make a choice. But I thought this one is interesting in particular because over the course of watching the video, you'll see that after we watched through the second time, he's allowed to stop. He changes his initial impression to the video. So he makes sort of a snap judgment as part of his general observations. And then after he's watched through it twice, he changes his mind about what he said. So I thought it was interesting to see this idea sort of evolve over this short period of time. So let me start. This is the star on the very first page, first star. His response to general observations.
I think I liked how he let the students work it out.
Okay.
I mean, the only question he really answered was, really answered was, oh, yeah, that's part 2. That's in the tutorial. That's part of it. It was a question about the structure of the question itself, or what the question is asking, which I think is, if you're, you can answer that kind of question for students. If it's, what does this mean? And then, if it's something that's, is this referring to this or this? Then you can answer that kind of question, just to kind of clarify what the assignment's asking. And maybe lead them down both tracks a little ways so that you could ask, would there be a difference? Or something like that. Yeah, I think that the students were doing a fairly good job of working that one out on their own. So I think that, honestly, about 2/3 of the way through that, I don't know why he was still there. He probably did go on to another group, because they seem to be handling it pretty well on their own. Okay.
So this is his first impressions, general impressions with the flip, and this was the quiet TA. Anything that stands out to you, just in this first blur?
Is this pre or post?
This is pre. So I will say, this isn't, he's had at least 1 week of tutorial at this point. So we weren't able to get it before he'd even set foot in the classroom. But it is, he's had at least 1 week of where he's had actual tutorial session.
I think he sounds quite sophisticated about his understanding
He's
of
very,
learning.
there's not a lot of hesitancy there. He says, I think this is good.
But I have a quick question, clarification that maybe I missed. So all LAs and TAs are shown the videos, and just some of them were interviewed.
Oh, all of them were interviewed. This was part of the interview. This was the beginning of the interview.
All of them are interviewed.
Yes.
So these aren't just special people who volunteered for the interview.
No, these are
Okay.
not.
Okay.
We asked them nicely, but they all
Very nice.
participated. Anything else in this first part? I got some of my ideas on the next slide. See what you guys think. Well, he expands upon this next, I'll play the next.
Because I'll talk
sort of
more
part.
if you guys don't have nothing to say.
Go ahead.
He seems to understand that the value of students working stuff out on their own. And he thinks, I think it's interesting that he thinks, like, what is he still doing there? What's that TA
Right.
still doing
So-
there? Get him out of there and,
That sort of
stop,
stood out to me,
let the
that-
kids learn. Leave them alone and let them learn, kind of, which I think is sophisticated. It's hard to let go like that.
Yeah.
He'll say more about that in the next clip, so maybe I'll play that one.